On a normal day, 20 million barrels of oil pass through the Strait of Hormuz. That's roughly 20% of the world's oil supply. And it all moves through a narrow stretch of water, just a few miles wide. It is the most important choke point in the global energy system. For most of human history, this passage wasn't about oil. It was about trade. For centuries, goods from India, Persia, and China flowed through the Persian Gulf and out into the wider world. Control the strait, and you control the movement of entire civilizations. Empires understood something that still holds true today. Power doesn't just come from land. It comes from controlling the routes between it. In addition to oil, roughly 20% of the world's liquefied natural gas also passes through Hormuz, which means electricity grids, heating systems, and entire economies depend on what happens here. Geographically, the Strait of Hormuz is almost absurdly small. The actual shipping lanes are only about 2 miles wide in each direction, and the countries that depend on it may not be the ones you expect. Asia is the center of gravity. Japan imports around 95% of its oil from the Middle East, much of it through Hormuz. China, India, and South Korea are all heavily dependent, which means a disruption here is not a regional issue, it's global. So what happens if the Strait of Hormuz closes, even temporarily? Some oil can be redirected through pipelines, but not nearly enough. There are no true substitutes for this route at scale, and the strait doesn't even need to be physically closed. Every tanker depends on war risk insurance to pass through these waters. When the threat level rises, insurers raise premiums overnight. In some cases, coverage is withdrawn altogether, and without insurance, the ships simply don't sail. The system has very little slack, which means a disruption doesn't just raise prices, it constrains supply. Markets react instantly, and the effects spread outward into shipping, manufacturing, food prices, and inflation. This is why the region is so heavily militarized, why global powers, including the United States, maintain a constant presence nearby. Because the question isn't just who controls the oil, it's who can keep it moving. The Strait of Hormuz is only a few miles wide, but it carries the weight of the global economy, and it reveals something deeper about how our world actually works. The most important places aren't always the largest. Sometimes, they're the narrowest. For more stories about the decisive moments and hidden truths that shape our world, subscribe to Inflection Points.